Hey, what's going on, guys? The Horror Man back on day 4 of Wild Eye Week with my review of Runaway Nightmare. Not only is it day 4 of Wild Eye Week, but it's also Wild Eye Wednesday. Last week on Wild Eye Wednesday, I reviewed Wrong Side of the Tracks, which I told you ended up being my favorite Dustin Ferguson film so far. Well, it's only been a week, but that has been replaced with Runaway Nightmare. You might remember how enthusiastic I was about it last week, and if it's possible, I'm even more enthusiastic about this one. Runaway Nightmare is a 2018 horror film directed by Dustin Ferguson, and this DVD was distributed by Wild Eye Releasing as part of their Wild Eye Raw and Extreme line. Just like Wrong Side of the Tracks, Runaway Nightmare was made to look like an after-school special. It's being presented on the same channel, Channel 6. And once again, the Channel 6 logo is on the bottom right of the screen. In between the actual feature presentation, there are also commercial breaks. Some of the commercials are the same ones that appeared in Wrong Side of the Tracks, but there are plenty of new commercials as well. I actually like that, because they wouldn't all realistically be brand new commercials. You tend to see the same commercials over and over again when you watch TV, especially on the same channel. So it makes sense that some of the commercials are the same as in Wrong Side of the Tracks. In essence, Runaway Nightmare is just another after-school special being aired on the same fictional channel. Hence why the same fictional ads would be shown. As for the new commercials, we get plenty from a local video store, a psychic hotline ad, a commercial promoting the town fair being held through Halloween weekend, a brand new Movie of the Week trailer, a new AIDS PSA and Halloween safety PSAs, and also an ad for a local children's Halloween carnival. There are others too, including those also featured in Wrong Side of the Tracks. The pumpkin patch ad, for example, and the Halloween haunt. There are Channel 6 news briefs and a fun retro Halloween weather update. Runaway Nightmare as a whole is ridiculously retro. It's awesome. I love the vintage commercials. I absolutely love them. The video store commercials in Runaway Nightmare were some of my favorites this time. I also love the Halloween PSAs. As for the faux after-school special itself, Runaway Nightmare, it's about a young girl who runs away after her drunk stepdad makes a move on her. She attempts to get to her aunt's house by hitchhiking. Unfortunately for her, the guys who pick her up belong to a satanic cult. Just as they were in Wrong Side of the Tracks, the cult is looking for a virgin to sacrifice. That's exactly what they believe they have found with this runaway. And so they tie her up, and the ritual commences. As I'm sure you might have guessed, it all takes place on Halloween. That's why most of the commercials are Halloween related, of course. Runaway Nightmare has the same runtime as Wrong Side of the Tracks, approximately 35 minutes. That's really short, yes, but at the same time, it's accurate for an after-school special like this. I bet watching Wrong Side of the Tracks and Runaway Nightmare back-to-back as a double feature would make it even better. It would be like watching after-school programming in the 80s. Dustin Ferguson, as he does in other films, uses vintage footage in Runaway Nightmare. Much of that footage is used in the commercials, but some is also used in the actual after-school special. It appears to be home movies of children trick-or-treating, probably in the 80s or 90s. It's amazing. It's so atmospheric, and it really brings me back to my childhood. That's what I love so much about Runaway Nightmare, and what I loved so much about Wrong Side of the Tracks. Both of these films are like time capsules, nostalgic time capsules. Last week I said Wrong Side of the Tracks was my favorite Dustin Ferguson film, but Runaway Nightmare is probably even better. I guess that's debatable, but for me, I think I prefer this one. The storylines of the after-school specials are similar, but it's the commercials that stand out for me. I love that Runaway Nightmare features some of the best commercials from Wrong Side of the Tracks, while featuring some brand new ones that I love. Like I said last week, this is just my kind of movie. This was originally going to be my Day 2 review, until I realized how similar it was to Wrong Side of the Tracks. It just made more sense to follow up last week's Wild Eye Wednesday review with this one. Huge thank you again to Wild Eye Releasing for sending me this DVD to review. This is another one absolutely worth adding to your Wild Eye collection, and one I will certainly be revisiting every October. It just gives me that Halloween high. Have you seen Runaway Nightmare? If so, what do you think of it? Comment below and let me know. Be sure to check back tomorrow to see what I review next for Wild Eye Week. Until then, thanks for watching, guys. Hit that thumbs up and be kind, subscribe.